There's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head too. And once you see that image, we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images, and that this event, is taking place here, because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus's face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there. Okay? And this happened back around Easter of 2020. So with Christmas right around the corner, I think, I just wanted to bring some hope to you folks and show you that, it's really real. It's really happening. And, you guys can look up into these clouds and take pictures just like I do and possibly capture something like this. So.
All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. A little different intro this time. All right, here we go. Let's get started here. First of all, this is our date, July 23rd. Whoops, can you see that up there? There it is, July 23rd, 2024. Okay, and then let me scooch down just a little bit, and we'll go ahead and start this loop. And while that's getting started there, I'll take a moment to thank all of you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. And once you've been here for a minute and you've discovered what we have at this family, you will see how precious it is and where you stand. Okay, hang on, we got a couple squiggly lines here I want to get rid of. Well, been one of those days, so just bear with me for a second here. You see me seeing you? I'm all over the sky. Okay, that's a little bit better right there. All right, let that loop play for a sec so you guys can see with your trained eye here what's going on in there. All right, now let me scooch down just a bit and grab the opening frame. And we'll start marching through this frame by frame. Okay. So here we are, opening frame 024 of 723. 24. Why can we not just have a nice little balance? There we go. It's too close or something. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. Oh, good morning, Mr. Baker. Bless you, sir. Okay, shall we? Let's dance. Here's our full halo backside CME that we talked about last night. Okay, that was the opening frames, and we were able to catch that event last night. We already talked about that one. Here comes a little one off the side here. That's not the one I'm too concerned about. You can see our little object right in this vicinity, right in here. Another one coming out or interacting. When I say coming out, sometimes it makes it sound like they're coming out of the sun, but they're not actually emerging out of the sun. Here you can see our round black spheroid, very defined, wrapped in plasma. We're going to go zoom in on that. Gee, I wonder what's going on in there, huh? Kind of obvious. Okay, and you can see the plasma streaking back. You can see it's cut like a little wake in the plasma here too. All right, so we're just right. Flexi screen, bounce back just right. All right, here we go. So your dark object right there, they don't reflect light, but when they interact with the sun, the plasma wraps around them, leaving a dark circular spheroid object with plasma draping behind it. Can't see it over here because it's just so blinded the camera, but you can see the indentation in the reading right here. Okay, so there's that. Now let me pull back a little bit here and keep marching. Now this frame right here, I want you to know how light is coming out this way, turning and going up and arcing over, okay? We have something there that's bending light. Let me take you over to this side. It's more pronounced right there. And we'll darken it. Okay, this little shaft right here, you can see it comes out straight, hits something, and then bends and goes over it. We have something bigger back behind here. Okay. And then you can see it's accompanying little moons with it coming out, or satellites coming with it too. Brian, do you know it is plasma that causes the whole sky sparks too? Yeah, turn this beautiful color blue. You're talking about your auroras. That's ionization up in the ionosphere up there. So almost. So right in this vicinity, you can see our little dark spheroid. There appears to be some other little activity in there. Still blinded by the camera over on this side here, though. So. Now let me brighten back up the camera. There we go. Sorry, I have to do that sometimes because these things are so bright that it blinds the camera. Well, when you darken it helps. All right, here you can see our flow asymmetries going around something much bigger out here. Okay, also over here, you can see this coming out, going up and over. All right, so this is hitting all three of these little arms of plasma. Whoops, give me a fat hand. These three little fingers of plasma are hitting something and draping over it. There's something bigger and round back in here. We don't really get a very good view of it on this pass, but you can sure tell by our flow that it's hitting something, bending, and going over. All right, so we have one of our bigger objects back in there. All right, and let's just keep continuing here. I want more of that side. There we go. And you can see it's very dark back in this area, back in here. So it's back in there, and you can see the way the plasma is kind of like streaking over the top of it and then straight off the back side of it. It's not wrapping around it. It's just hitting the rim and then flaring straight off. So there's our bigger object hiding back in there. Okay, and there's a bunch of this plasma, out in front of it, going around the front and around the sides and blasting around it. So hopefully you can see it. It's kind of right there. Maybe even back up in here. There's our circle right there. Something like that. Okay. All right. So there's our bigger object just interacted with the sun today. Okay. Now let me scooch back down here. You can still see it back in there. It's just very faint. Ooh, what was that? Somebody streaking through there. That one looks a little wiggly. That does not look like a straight line to me. Mm-hmm. This might be the one I captured in my photo today. Notice there's a bend in this. That is not a straight line. Here's our ship. It looks like there's a little break right there. That'll be our object. And then here's its little streaking tail that has a little arc in it. Can you see that? Yeah. What? Okay, Clifton James. That comment right there. Everybody has been hung up on this all day, okay? I hear it racing through my head all day today, all right? The lady said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and the cop shot her 3 times. What does that tell you about your cops? Or at least that guy. Not all of them. Let me reiterate, at least that guy. Okay? If he was a believer, he would have said, ma'am, you have gotten me mistaken. I am here to serve you, not shoot you in the head. See, there's an ego problem. Everybody's got the ego problem. I've got to kill the ego. Okay? Clifton James is a good friend of mine. He's always welcome here. You just hang around, Clifton. That was a great question. Okay. And I've been dealing with that all over the place today. It's no fun when I'm trying to focus on stuff I gotta do, and 90% of my brain is everybody racing around about that stupid subject. But it's important that you see what happened. Okay, you use your spiritual eyes to see through it. Okay, we're almost done here. Bingo. What's his name? Ooh, another weird streak right there. That one has a bend in it too. Slight little bend in it. Usually the reflections are straight lines. That kind of tells me that's an object, which is no surprise because they're all over your skies. It's only increasing in activity every day. Okay. All right, so there's your activity for today with our full halo coming off the backside, and possibly this bigger object, when it may have induced that backside CME and pushed energy towards us. If the object itself is coming towards us and the CME reaches out and hits it head on, but it's still coming this way, it could splash backward and give us that proton storm. Because I'm wondering what the heck, 180 degrees it blows away, yet it still affects us. Possibly because the magnetic field of this pushed a lot of that in our direction. Okay, so we got to get moving here. Let's get on over here to our solar ham real quick. Now, our solar flux indice is still declining. It's down to 176. It's down another 9 points. That's great. I love to see it declining and going down. Our sunspot number is declining as well. We're down 6 more spots, down to 166. The area we don't really care about right now. Let's get into this. Ooh. Did that just have? No, you did not, dude. Can't wait till political season is over. I clicked on this, and it starts to pull up political ad. Okay, 3762. This is one we got to watch. We got a close configuration right here on this side. We got to go in tighter. You guys can't see that. Bingo. There we go. So we got a close little configuration on this side right here. And this is still kind of hopping too. All right. So we got to watch this one because this area is rotating into the Earth strike zone. So, James, the lady's life was taken, but she's not dead. Okay. Her life was taken by the forces of evil. So where do you think she's at right now? Oh, you want my email, Hopkinson? It's very easy. It's all lowercase, and it's bknightUSA@gmail.com. My email is so full, I can't even access it. Thanks to all these wonderful things. Let me know in the comments or something. I think I know what you want to talk about. Cindy Hopkinson, I know what you want. Anyways, let's get back to the show. 3761, 51 degenerating over here. Okay, this one is still the one we got to watch. It's got this configuration. It's really separated, but look right here. It could touch with 51, 61 and 51 could touch right there. All right, so we got close quarters on that one, and it's in the where our IMF line hooks up, so any kind of electrical jolt out of that will come right to the planet. All right, good, very good. Now let's get back to the show. Whoops, I should have got 110, 110. Gotta take it easy. I've been a long day, so bear with me here. Okay, here we go. Geomagnetic forecast. All clear for the next 3 days. Here we had this event right here today, so maybe in 3 days we might be seeing something. Yeah, it might not go through, sweetie, because, well, my email is so full of ads and all sorts of stuff. I have to go through it just to compose an email and delete all kinds of junk. I don't even subscribe to. It's just stupid. I don't even bother with email anymore because it's more of a headache than a tool anymore, for me at least. Back to the show. 3D all clear. We had this little bump right there. We witnessed what that was. It's been pretty smooth since. There's not really much to look at, so we're not going to take a peek at that. We're going to continue on. Meanwhile, our proton event is dwindling in its strength and stuff. And in fact, let's just go ahead and do our delayer region real quick here. Oh, good. It's all loaded up. Let me scooch just a bit better for you. Okay, here we go. So this was earlier today while our event was still underway. And then just within the last few hours, it starts to taper off and peter out. Okay. So that was a pretty good, intense duration proton absorption event. Absorption. I'm a stickler for absorption. Because an event like this, well, could spark other problems, which it did. Don't play games with me. All right, fine. Which it did. Okay, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes. Meanwhile, proton events down to 50%. Here's your auroras. They're, medium right now or mild. We're at KP2. We did have a little fluctuation here, this little bounce, and then something right here. But it was only KP2.5, so it's nothing really too much. That's good. Meanwhile, we got 62 that's beta gamma delta and 61 beta gamma. 51 still beta gamma delta. So we have two that are still potential X flare players with the delta configuration. One's growing, the other one declining. Okay, so we'll have to watch all those, especially 62, because that's the one that's coming into the strike zone here. That one right there. Okay, so okay, so it appears that the faint halo CME observed on Sunday has passed the ACE spacecraft and should reach our planet within an hour or so. So far, the solar wind speed increase is fairly minor at near 330 kilometers per second, and more updates in hours ahead. Okay, so there's all your good little readings and stuff like that for all the science tech guys. I did see a little CME passage right in that zone right there. Okay, so a fast-moving, impressive full halo mass ejection is now emerging in the latest imagery courtesy of the LASCO C2. Based on additional imagery by the Solar Dynamics Observatory, the event took place well beyond the west limb and is directed away from our planet. Despite being farsighted, it is possible that we may still see a proton enhancement from the energetic event, which we did. Okay, we covered all that. Now, let's get on over here to spaceweather.com. The ineffective CME impact, arriving 6 hours earlier than expected, the Halo CME hit Earth's magnetic field on July 23rd at 2010 UT. Normally, an early CME would strike harder than forecast due to its higher than expected speed. In this case, however, the impact was not effective. Magnetic fields within the CME did not connect to Earth's magnetosphere. Okay, the BZ component did not connect. So, no geomagnetic storm occurred, luckily. The Venus cloud discontinuity, a towering wall of acid clouds is racing through the atmosphere of Venus. Listen to this. A towering wall of acid clouds is racing through the atmosphere of Venus. Keep that in the back of your mind tonight, all right? Acid clouds, a towering wall of acid clouds is racing through the atmosphere. Remember, we were talking about effects of other planets that we're seeing on other planets happen to our planet. Remember back when we had our list months back? And everything got filled out on that list pretty quick, too. That was pretty scary how quick that list just came and went. And we are experiencing everything that all the other planets are. And I will show you acid clouds racing through Earth's atmosphere here in a little while. Okay? Same thing that's happening there. Let's get on over to our Schumann here. Please. All right, there we go. So we had this event yesterday. There was some pressure that built up. Okay, it got released. Wouldn't acid have come out of Yellowstone today? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. SO2 emissions would have come out of Yellowstone today. And seeing as how we had a buildup of pressure and, releases like this, then we go along and then we have a little buildup of pressure right here and a release. And it gets weak for a minute, a little spike. And then we got some little weakness here. It's not even really good continuity right there. It's blue, not even green. So after this little wave of pressure after pressure after pressure, well, pressure builds up down below and comes upward through the crust. And guess what? Yellowstone went off. Surprise to everybody. It should not be a surprise at this channel. I was just showing you earthquake activity in Yellowstone the last couple of days. We talk about volcano activity anywhere a new one could possibly open up. Yellowstone, they don't even have it on the list because it's always currently active. The whole place is currently active all the time. So that little burp, they got lucky. They got so lucky. We'll get into the volcano report tonight, and we'll discuss how lucky those people got to escape, how they did. Meanwhile, we have pressure variance. We have grinding down below. It creates pressure. We get releases via earthquakes, volcanoes. It comes along, builds up pressure. We grind again. Then we get good continuity. We start to grind, a little pressure, and then a release. All right, that could have been our activity around Yellowstone. A little release, a pressure buildup, and then a quick release right there. Okay, it wasn't a big towering one like this, so it wasn't a big, huge volcanic explosion. But a new perforation, well, it's a perforation in the crust already. So it's just a burp of pressure. Whoops, we can't show that yet. Okay, so there is that. Now, here we go. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Let me back out real quick. That's Taiwan, okay? This is Taiwan Foon. Typhoon, Taiwan. Taiwan Foon. All wrapped around the whole thing. Watch when I put the wind on. Yeah. So, while everybody's freaking out about the headlines, Typhoon is eating Taiwan right now, and then this is forecast to move inland into China, which will surely do a lot of damage. We discussed last night, and now other people are picking up on it now too, because you can see the scenario setting up right here. Okay, that is no joke. We'll take the wind off. It has an eye. It's a very intense, well-organized storm. It has the island in its grip. The circular motion of the storm includes the island. Put the wind back on. See how it's whipping around the shape of the island? All right, take the wind off for a minute. We're going to go down even lower. That's the surface. So even 1,000 here is more intense. A little higher, it's not as intense. But right there's right where most of your weather are. These islands right here are probably getting decimated right now. Okay, so you're gonna hear of tomorrow headlines. Something may have happened at Taiwan. Okay. Boy, how do I do this now too? First, we'll come back to this. We gotta finish doing something else first. Okay, hold this thought for a minute because we got a bunch of them on hold right now. We got to do our chemicals. I'm going to take off the wind. Here's your SO2. Oh, yeah. Before we do the SO2, we're going to do SO4. SO4 is much like SO2. It's a sulfur oxide compound, okay, but it has 4 oxygen atoms per molecule, okay? So SO4 is much like SO2. We're going to put on this SO2, okay? Now, or SO4, okay? I call it sulfur quad oxide, just as a layman's term, okay? So you'll understand it's 1 sulfur atom and 4 oxygen atoms. It's sulfur quad oxide. It's a sulfide, okay? It's man-made and produced by the ground, but that's not what we're worried about, is the concentrations and the fact that it's all over the place, okay? Even in the southern hemisphere. Now, problem with this particulates, water likes to adhere to a particulate so it can form a raindrop. In this case, instead of adhering to the particulate, it bonds with the particulate. The H2O bonds with SO4. And when those two chemicals combine, they create a new compound called H2SO4, which is known as sulfuric acid. Towering walls of acid clouds racing through the atmosphere. Towering walls of acid clouds racing through Earth's atmosphere. It's happening here on Earth as well. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? Acid clouds, sulfuric acid clouds. Racing through the atmosphere, aren't they? Okay, just making sure you guys comprehend this stuff, okay? Now let's take the wind off again and get back to SO2, the chemical SO2. This is formed by volcanic activity. All right, so let me get now, because we may have jumped on a calendar. Nope, okay, good. So looking a lot better right now, actually. We'll do that really quick. You can see one side bleeding out, but very patchy. The other side kind of here and there. Boom. All right, now. Flooding in this region, blocking up, little pores in the ground that let this gas escape, plugs up the perforations in the crust. But as you can see, darkness up in that region, patchiness through there. What we really want to go do is take a peek over here in Oregon, this region right here that had a volcanic explosion, all right, that they just didn't report, emitting SO2, all right, and then we have wish we had boundaries on this. Probably right here, or no, there's Salt Lake City. So right here probably is your Yellowstone SO2 emissions right in this vicinity up in here probably. Meanwhile, Eastern Oregon still has this patchwork going on there, and then down here we have North Bay, and then this site down here now emitting quite a little plume right there. Meanwhile, we have up here in Canada so much SO2. It comes out of the ground super hot. It starts fires. It creates. I said fires. Oh, okay. The gas comes out of the ground so hot that it causes vegetation around it to spontaneously combust, and we're getting forest fires produced from heat underground, from magma pushing up through the surface, the gas coming up first, super hot. Maybe some of these sites might even have small magma emissions. It might just be a little puddle in the ground or whatever. But when we see pressure, the sun puts energy into the planet, the core and the shell heat up and swell. The magma heats and swells from the inside, trying to come out through the bottom of the crust, the underside of the crust. These are all perforations where the gas is coming out. It should be no surprise that any kind of volcanic site could erupt. All right, we do volcano reports every night. The fact that this park was open and that they had people walking on the boardwalk, maybe we should get these scientists over at the U.S. volcanic whatever survey to come over to my channel, and I could talk some sense into them and tell them, look, we're having SO2 emissions from sites. Do not go around already active sites, such as Yellowstone. It's got perforations in the crust all over the place. It's like a freaking pincushion. That would be like one of the worst places to visit right now. And they're surprised that a blast came out of there. And then I like all the excuses. Oh, this happens every 2 years or so. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. They try to blow it off, too. And it's like, oh, yeah, nothing to see here. No, there's plenty to see here. You guys better wake up and pay attention. And it should have been no surprise when you guys saw that. The people here at this channel that pay attention should have saw that, went, yep, I bet you Brian was going to be like, yeah, no surprise there. Okay? Once you understand how this works, you're gonna, now you see that these perforations, this hot gas is able to start fires. You might want to consider if you live around an area that has a bunch of perforations, okay? Now, as we come down here, we're seeing it creep into the lower 48. It's no longer up here in Canada. It's creeping down into Oregon. Uh-oh, look here in California. All the way down here, this fire down here that they're dealing with is sparked by this SO2 emissions. Okay, and they'll try to tell you, oh no, these SO2 emissions are from the burning trees. What do we got? Trees of sulfur? Yeah. And then you see over here, Russia having the same problem. Okay? It's a real problem. Real effect. Cause and effect. When you see an effect, there must be a cause from it, you know? Boy, I guess not many people pay attention in school, huh? Or just didn't believe. I don't know. I don't get it. All right, let's take these fires down now so we can finish this without a bunch of. All right, so we got to adjust for their time. China's still having lots of emissions. lots of flooding. They got that storm coming in. If it hits this region, it's going to dump massive amounts of water. They've already got way too much water, and we all could just see what the devastation could possibly be. And unfortunately, they built a bioweapons lab on the river that's about to overflow, and Wuhan, the city of Wuhan, with millions of people, will be gone. They better get on the right side of the Lord, is what I'm talking now. You can totally tell by looking at this map what's going on. Here we have no emissions because we have a huge desert, but all that sand is blowing out into the Atlantic now, right? Because we got these huge sand plumes now, these huge sandstorms, particulate sand, please. There we go. Okay, so we got these huge plumes of sand, all that area is blowing out into the Atlantic. These huge sand plumes come all the way across, up into the Gulf, panning out across America, okay? And they're also disrupting our hurricane genesis. This would have been the most devastating hurricane season, except this has done wonders. It has actually just done miracles at deterring our our hurricane genesis. Okay, now we have ocean heat anomalies that are causing all of our problems. I don't want now. What do we want? There we go. Okay, the heat structures are pretty much the same as they were the last time, but you can see our flow. And we got this conveyor belt type structure going out, coming in, hitting the Gulf, bringing stuff up, back out. Also, we got all this heat structure, all these heat anomalies on the northern hemisphere now. Okay, clear up here into Hudson Bay. You see them up there. You see clear off here. Let me take the wind down real quick. Okay, you see them clear up here off the coast of Greenland. We got hot water anomalies off the coast of Greenland. Okay. All throughout that area. Here's a little cold patch right here, but that's about it. We got this last little patch holding out right there. A little bit here on the coast. Cold right here at the equator. And then all these hot patches down here, around there. All magma emissions on the ocean floor causing problems at the surface. Okay. Here we are around Taiwan. We have our Taiwanophone. I don't know what we're going to call it. A Taiwanophone. I don't know. That sounded cool. Anyways, it's right here at our focal point where we have a lot of energy distribution right here via earthquakes. So this has been our relief valve, and it's been plugged up lately. And we need more earthquake activity here because we're starting to see lava emissions on the ocean floor, right? We need the relief of pressure. It hasn't been doing its job very well lately. Meanwhile, we got another heat plume growing here off the Philippines. Look at all this cold water in this area. This is where the hot water is supposed to be. Okay, meanwhile, Java, one of our emission sites, doing well at keeping, cold water inundation, or at least right off the coast right here. Okay, so there's not a big old plume right there. Meanwhile, Sumatra is getting a plume growing out here. This area down below, it's starting to fill in. Okay, over here, you see Kamchatka getting surrounded now. Japan, the North Island, all this area coming all the way down into here. Over there. This big old thing reaching up, it's actually reaching more up towards this island now. It's not coming so far towards the west coast. It's doing this arc move. But you see this big old arm, like curled arm structure, like a bodybuilder flexing his muscle right there. That'd be his fist, and there's his arm and his shoulder. That structure right there is causing the wind patterns to work like this. Hot air rises, cold air rushes in to replace it. We got cold air over this patch of cold water, hot air over this patch of hot water, hot air over this patch of hot water, cold air here. And you can see it has caused this its own independent vortex right here now. See how it's connected up? It's no longer just all conveyor belt. It's sealed off its own little vortex. There's still a lot of this conveyor belt structure. I will stop bouncing around for a second and leave it there. And I want you to note over here how our heat patterns have come and converged here. See how this flow is turning the corner and going around, and this is rotating here. This typhoon is matching the heat signatures, isn't it? And there's a weird little face right there, huh? With the spinny eyes. You see his nostrils down here. All right, anyways, enough playing around. Yeah. Anyway, this storm. Okay, now how are we going to do this? So let's go back to the storm now. We have this intense typhoon that's encompassed the island as well. This part is probably getting lashed really hard. This part, the whole island probably just... They're lucky they're kind of shaped the way they are because it's going around the island instead of just across it. Meanwhile, these islands on the backside are just getting hammered right there. Whoops, they disappear, sorry. There we go. And this little bug is going to the wrong island. Go on. Go in between the islands. There you go. All right, so very intense typhoon being produced by our thermal pockets in the area. And then it's going to send that sucker into China, and then we're going to have big trouble in Little China probably. They need to get on their knees and start praying right now. Be most advisable. We're done there? No, we're not done there because we got to explain something else. So, before we get any further here, let me take you to the earthquake map. Okay, because here we are already set up at Taiwan. They had a quake today. It wasn't much. It was a 42 or 4.2 down at 42. Okay, so not enough energy being released in this area, and we saw all the heat anomalies around this area. Okay, so right around this area, at Taiwan here, this fulcrum point, there's a little island here called Turtle Island. Right here. Okay, this little island here off of Taiwan. And I want you to just kind of note where it is and how close it is to our fulcrum point. Basically, our fulcrum point right in there or at the edge of this plate boundary, right? See where our valley is right there. So, right close to this fulcrum point where we see a lot of our energy, we have that typhoon. We also had an event there, something different type of event there. And this is Dabu 77 reporting this. So I'm going to use this for educational purposes. You're going to see here we are at Taiwan, and this is Google Earth. So I'll just take you in here real quick.
It's Dabu 7. I want to share with you guys here a crazy find on Google Earth off the coast of Taiwan.
Yeah, it's up there. Sorry, I took you to the wrong island.
And shout outs to Coco on this. If you go in.
Hang on. I pointed out the wrong island to you guys. It's up here. this little island right here. Okay. Turtle Island. And you can see the crack running right along right through there. Comes right back down to our fulcrum point. So it's right up, right off the fulcrum point, right up here. So let's go back to this video real quick. Right where the eye of our storm is. The eye of the storm is sitting right over that island right now. And then let's take a look at what's on Google Maps at that island right there. Let me back up real quick so you get a reference one more time. All right.
Hey guys, Dabu7. I want to share with you guys here a crazy find on Google Earth. Off the coast of Taiwan, there's a little island. And shout outs to Coco on this. If you go in and you get a street view right around this area and click it, it's going to bring you to a spot where you'll see a boat out in the water with some people looking. When you look in the water, there is this, which is pretty crazy. So somebody somehow has gone in and put this massive dragon or dinosaur in the water here with parts of it popping up out of the water all the way back through there and hid it in Google Earth. Or you could say it's real and it's there, huh? So which is it? So how do people get in here and hide these images in Google Earth? Is it possible? If so, let's see some proof. Pretty crazy find nonetheless when you're just looking around, I guess, on Google Earth. But that is, and put this
Oops. I want to point out
massive
something.
dragon or dinosaur.
Okay. Oh, wait.
So somebody crazy.
I want to capture one frame here where we can see down the
So
back
somebody
of it.
somehow has gone in and put.
All right, let me small frame that right there, just regular size like this. Okay, you can see these things protruding up out of the water back here, right? Little rocks would be the spine of this creature, right? Godzilla. Let's just call it what it is, Godzilla. Okay? But look at this. This creature is not moving. It is just sitting there, like acting like an island. The boat going by it. This is the wake of the boat splashing up onto this. So there is something in the water because the wake of the boat is reacting to these. Then when you get up to this, it just looks like a mound of rocks sticking out of the water. The water is coming and splashing up on these rocks here. It's not this creature moving. This is not leaving a wake. It is sitting still. The boat going by it is splashing wake on it. You see what I'm saying here? You can see the wake going out, further waves protruding out. This is a very interesting capture. Now, like he said, did somebody go into Google Maps and do this? One more time with this. Forgive me,
Off the
Dabu,
coast of Taiwan, there's a little island. And shout outs to Coco on this. If you go in and you get a street view right around this area and click it, it's going to bring you to a spot where you'll see a boat out in the water with some people.
This person is filming it on their camera. This kid's pointing at it. Look, Mommy, Godzilla.
Looking. When you look in the water, there
And there's a big
is
old eye.
this, which is pretty crazy.
What if Hollywood seen this thing and modeled their thing after this? If that's the case, because we are seeing deep water creatures coming to the surface, and this happens to be right there, right where our storm is. Pretty crazy, huh? Okay, now let's move on with our earthquake report, shall we? No deep quakes per se in our deep region. We do have this one here, a 5 point or 5.0, 4.9, but you know we do there. So 5 at the surface there. We have activity on this island finally here, 4.6 at 71, and then this, a 5.1 down at 42. We also have in this deeper region a 5.0 down at 525. So we had a deep quake here. These deep quakes don't necessarily put energy at the surface, a bigger quake at the surface. This is an indication of pressure in the area down deep, starting to move around down there. Here's Java, our relief valve, right next to it. So it's pumping out SO2, volcanic emissions, and we're having pretty good, decent deep quake activity in the region. We also have down here another 5 at the surface. Here at Taiwan, we had that 4.2. Now over here in China, they had a 5.2 today. This is one of your diverse quakes because it's not a volcanic feature. I'm looking for faults and stress fractures and stress areas. This looks very random and choppy. I mean, it could be some kind of, well, look at this right there. Yeah, maybe we do have some kind of ancient volcanic feature right here. What is this? This looks like a diamond almost. You pull back a little bit. And right in the middle of it. I have to watch the region. This is one of your diverse quakes right there, because that's not a typical spot that we're used to seeing it. It's not a really dominant volcano or plate boundary or anything like that. Fulcrum point quake up here at 4. Over here at Greece, or Afghanistan, 4. No, Albania, sorry. Okay, we're done there. Let's move on up into this region. Sometimes we get deep ones here. 4.6 down at 390, about halfway deep. We'll do all that in a America report. Let's do South America. Just one small one right there. 4.8 down at 50. All right, let's pop into America. Do all magnitudes now, please. And I want that pulled down and that pulled down. Okay, you guys are hanging tough. As we get in here, small little mouse farts at some of the volcanic islands out here. Meanwhile, plate boundary 4.0 down at 35. Up here on the shelf is 4.7 down at 2. Fulcrum point quake here, 3.2. There's some magnitude that we might look for down below. Diverse quake up here, 4.1, and that's very shallow. Another diverse quake next to it is 2.7. This one as well. Okay, you see our fulcrum point right here. Okay, we have the matching plate boundary. And you can see the matching different waves, like fulcrum points. There's one right there, another one going up and down there. Sorry, my hand is numb. Another one going like this, okay? And then even further up, we can barely make it out, but there's another fulcrum right there, okay? So that one is up there at that upper fulcrum, right on the ridge. So that's a fulcrum point quake, but this isn't. This one's a diverse quake, and so is that one. See what I'm saying? See what I mean, Jelly Bean? All right, let's move on. So we had this kind of pressure or magnitude 3.2. And then bingo, right here, 4.4 with a little tsunami watch. But we know. That's some good quake activity here in Juan de Fuca. We're going to need to see more activity like this to relieve pressure in the area. That's a start. Meanwhile, Puget Sound very quiet, but here at Rainier, we got earthquake activity on the flank of Rainier. Nothing at these ones. Little 1.7 there. So our site that had the volcanic event was like out here somewhere. I wonder if it's... No, it's in the Montana. That's in Idaho. Oh, well. Let's get back into California here. What's this here? Oh, we already checked that. So driving inland, a little microquake right there. We just had a decent quake at 2.7 there in Brentwood. Plate boundary. A little microquaking going on all through there. Current. Yeah, okay. Good. So our system's doing pretty well, venting, pressure, and everything. So this is up here by Yellowstone, and we have some quake activity up here. I'm sure there's a lot more going on than what they're showing here. All right, let's get out here. Wow, look at Texas is all lit up today. Okay, let's get into Tejas, shall we? Biggest magnitude here is a 3.4. Remember we saw, what, a 5 there yesterday? Yeah, 4.9. Okay. So our biggest one is a 3.4 at that site. Coming over here into this little area, 2.1, 2, 4, 5, 8, almost a 3 right there. What's this one? Okay. Okay, all perforations in the crust, man-made perforations. We understand what happens there. But look at this activity spreading out across Texas here. That's a fair amount of pressure underneath Texas here. And then look at this. Ooh, we got a little quake swarm activity going on here. 3 being the biggest, 2.1s. Yeah, 2s and large 9s. Is this, yeah, look at this. Oh, no, it's not. Huh. Interesting. We'll have to watch this region here. That's a little different activity. Okay, meanwhile, up here on the... Well, this is up in Oklahoma a little bit. Yeah, it's not on the New Madrid. Nothing on the New Madrid, but up here a little bit. We had a little activity up in Jersey up there. Let me just take one more peek at this spot. Yeah. All right, there's your quake report and Godzilla report too. So watch out, Taiwan. Hopefully that storm doesn't wake up Godzilla, or he might go stomping through China all mad. Maybe it's not Japan that he attacks in the movies, it's China. Because he's mighty close to them. And if he's right there and he wakes up, well, watch out. Okay, at least you guys are laughing along with me. This isn't too far off base, really. It's not, because there are other creatures. Well, we'll get into that tonight, I think. So let's get rid of all of these instruments and get our volcano report going, since you guys are so patient. You guys practicing your patience? Or is your patience running short? It's becoming a challenge practicing your patience these days, huh? Let's get on over to Volcano. Brat? Are you being a brat? Sometimes I'm a brat too. I was Brian Brat. Oh, look at this 34 and something else. Wait until this comes back. Hey, there's me. Yep, still crazy. All right, come on back with this upper thing here. It said 34, so we're up a couple more volcanoes. Meanwhile, let's skip through that. I wanted that ticker to run again and not an ad. Close ad. Means 34 erupting and 28 in warning. All right. Cool. What are we looking at here? The lava flow and debris avalanches deepened and partially filled the chute at Scaria del Fuoco that in turn created a new lava delta. All right. Stromboli still going off, and the attached synchron aperture morphological changes. Svarensky in the Reykjanes is going off. This is Reykjanes. Okay, that's Iceland. Just because it says this Svarensky. Oh, that's a tough one. I need a drink for that one. Anyways, Reykjanes, Iceland going off. Bizamani in the Kamchatka Peninsula, 15,000 feet. Suwanosujima, 5,000 feet. Ibu, 7,000 feet. Oh, come on. We got to have better. The picture on the side was better than that. And we have Yellowstone to 700 feet. Okay? No. I want you guys to think of something here. This is a mouse fart compared to, well, let's just say, let's pick out one here. 15,000 feet. Say we had a 15,000 foot blast right next to these people. Or maybe a 7,000 foot blast right next to these people. Yeah, there's Yellowstone, Wyoming. Approximately 10 a.m. local time yesterday, a sudden small hydrothermal explosion occurred. No way. Water getting heated down below, pushing up through the surface because of pressure down below? No way. I am so surprised. Yellowstone National Park's Biscuit Basin. The thermal area. It's called a thermal area. Numerous visitor captured videos. Well, good thing there were numerous videos there, so we have video of it. And quite the video. I mean, if you were there and that happened, you would be shaken, all right? And they got lucky. They got so lucky. This is just a burp. What if it was Fuego and it just did 15,000 feet next to those people? Or Sangay with a 21,000 foot blast right next to you, you know? So those people got lucky. That's a perforation in the crust. It had the potential to do this. You know that, right? Has the potential to do this. You know that, right? Any of these do. Sabancaya, 23,000 feet. Etna, fourth paroxysm. A new strong eruptive episode following Stromboli and explosions yesterday evening, which became stronger and near continuous and more intense. Near continuous and more intense. Wonder why. Maybe it's because of the sun and all the activity down below. Here's Bizamani doing 15,000. Ibu, 7,000. Luatobi, via eruption report. Luatolo. Semeru, East Java, discrete intermittent eruptions. White Island in New Zealand coming to life as well. Okay, Kilauea in Hawaii, following the burst of intense activity. It's about 3:30 a.m. local time. Localized earthquake and ground deformation rates at Kilauea's upper east rift zone have significantly decreased. Yay! The alert status of the volcano was raised to orange, but it decreased. Here's Fuego with, oh yay, Sangay 20,000, Sabancaya 20,000, and no crazy lists for tonight because too desensitizing. Where did that go? Oh yeah, we're back on. Yeah, very, very lucky. Okay, and if I were these people, I would monitor the sun as to when you let people in the park. When we have pressure built up down below and the Schumann's grinding, I would not let people in the park. Just saying. Okay. Let's do a weather report. I need a weather report. As if that's not crazy enough, too. Let's get her loaded. Let's get her done, son. Okay, so our latest pattern, not too bad. Occasional pop-ups in the afternoon, nocturnal thunderstorms, more of the severe activity up north by Canada because of the cooler air during this hot summer. So really not much to report on there tonight. Let's get her. Oops, see that little guy sneaking out through there. Weather's been very unpredictable. We have so many factors now. But let's just do it to it anyways. Current conditions, nighttime, July 23rd. There's the morning of the 24th. I guess we already had our geomagnetic storm, so we don't have to add any energy to this unless we get another one. But there will be your noontime. Already severe convection going on in Louisiana, Mississippi region by noon tomorrow. There's your convection time. A bunch of isolated supercells stretching from Mississippi all the way across Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina up into North Carolina too. And then this up here in Canada too. Don't miss that. Then the nighttime of the 24th. Okay, you see this low wrapping up. You see this comma shape effect right here. Okay, watch out. You could get a lot of rain out of that. Meanwhile, we got here. I'll use this now. Severe weather down here. Little pockets. Georgia, South Carolina, going on up down in Mexico as well. Up here as well. Then we go into the morning of the 25th. Noon. Again, right here, Texas and Louisiana. Convection, nighttime. Morning of the 26th, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, anything after this is kind of very unpredictable, so we're just going to go through it. 27, noon, convection, nighttime. 28, noon, convection, nighttime. Nighttime of the 28th, watch out for some kind of event possibly in that time frame right there, because that's just outside our window. That one's pretty close to maybe happening. But that'll be the nighttime of the 28th, morning of the 29th, noon, convection, nighttime, 30th, noon, convection, nighttime, 31st. That's the morning time pop-ups right here, morning time of the 31st. There's the noon, convection, nighttime, August 1st, noon, convection, nighttime, 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime, 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime, 4th, noon, convection, nighttime, 5th, convection, nighttime, 6th, noon, convection, nighttime, 7, noon, convection, nighttime, 8, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, and there she goes. That was it. Get her done. All right, so not too much to really worry about here. Just some of these first ones right here. Oops. right here at noon tomorrow. So starting off in the morning, rain in this area, and then by noon getting severe, possibly in anywhere in that region. Not necessarily that stripe. It could be shifted this way. It could shift back, be north or south. But in that region, we're going to possibly see around noon some severe weather. It spreads out, like I said, during convection. And then nighttime tomorrow, some isolated supercells out on the east, southeast there. That's tomorrow, the day after tomorrow at noon around Texas. Convection, nighttime. Some stuff maybe in Georgia at nighttime. Okay, so those are your nearest events to worry about. Everything after that will it'll change, and we'll cover that tomorrow night. Okay, so there's your weather. Okay, everybody, let's do this real quick, because I got another thing for you. We're looking at what would look like Godzilla there, and we got deep water creatures that are being shoved up to the higher water columns because of the temperature down there. They like cold water, and when hot water comes up, they don't do too well. Come on, video. Seriously? Oh, political ad. Yeah, we gotta have political ad, right? This creature's echolocating. You can hear the echolocating. This was taken off of Poseidon Sediment oil rig out in the North Pacific. You see the fish, pilot fish around it? That's an indication. I wish that was CGI. I wish that was not real. Okay, let me turn the volume down one more time. Play it one more time. Sorry, the volume. But you can hear it echolocating. Okay, a prehistoric creature uses echolocation. That's your Mesosaurus right there. Like I said, a lot of the creatures that you see in Hollywood, they take from the real thing. Trying to warn you slowly but surely. Okay, they've taken the head of this creature, like a fake one, and introduced it to other creatures in the sea, and they immediately react to the fake version of the mesosaur head, so other creatures recognize this creature as well as an apex predator. The apex predator, probably Leviathan, or one of those type creatures that could be from a lower strata too. We're seeing cold water coming up from lower oceans possibly. If we know there are lower oceans, okay, any kind of connection could possibly be navigated in the dark by a creature that can echolocate. Right? So if it survived for millions of years down at a lower ocean where there's no predators, reptiles are known to continue to go and not age and grow as long as nothing kills them. They will continue to grow. So even if our Godzilla image off the coast of Taiwan is fake, okay, because Google Earth, come on now, This, we got some issues with this right here. This is different. This is way different. In fact, what I want you to really do here, because when we do it in this little pop-up box, I can make it run smooth instead of frame by frame. And what we're trying to do is capture the creature's actual real motion, not frame by frame, and compare it to real aquatic motion. That's a real swimming creature. See that pop up down below? That's a real swimming creature. Probably good time to get away from the shoreline, or don't go in the water either. Okay, something to consider when we start to see thermal activity on the ocean floor. Okay, it's going to drive bigger predators or any kind of bottom dwelling or sub bottom dwelling creatures up to the surface. And like I said, I got other creatures that are being pushed up from down below, showing up in my art. So we got take this out, take out the volcano report. We got that one still pulled up from our opening. Can we have that refreshed there? Put that right around there. Let's go a little bit further back here. It's not so bright. What's going on here? The screen's kind of blinding it there. Is that better? Oh, you know what? Because we're on the video, that's why. Might as well just pull all the real pictures instead of looking at the video. We've got the real images, the actual photos that I took of this whole event coming up here in a minute. Google, come on, you can do it. Come on, Google. All right, so we're waiting on Google to pull up my photos real quick here. But while we're waiting there, we're gonna entertain some, different type things. I show you all kinds of different spiritual events. Okay, dinosaurs and dragons are all real. Okay, some of them still exist. All right, so we got these images right here to read to. Let me get rid of the dinosaur. And then we can pull up one more, this one with the heart. Let me just pull up those real quick, and then we'll do a couple readings here, because I know what's going on in you guys' heads. I hear it all day long. Please for help. Screams for help. Help! What are we doing? What's going on? And I'm trying to remind you guys, it's how much you plug into it, okay?
A gun alone is not enough to keep you safe.
That's right.
Number one.
You need the Lord. Okay, hopefully you see the image there, pulling up in his shirt, exposing his heart, creating my face in the sky there. All right. Good. Get my reading light going here. So we see a lot of disturbing things going on around the world, not only politically, but in natural disasters as well. We got creatures from the deep coming up. We got volcanic activity exploding at national parks while people are there on vacation because they don't pay attention to what's going on. The media doesn't inform them. We got China that's about to be if this hurricane floods that dam is about to go. That hurricane hitting them is just really going to probably push it over the edge, right? So we got a lot of Well, the world looks dark right now, doesn't it? I mean, things are looking kind of dark. There's only a few things that have, you know, any kind of hope, right? Or anything you can trust in, because this world looks dark. And when your world looks dark and threatening, come to me, pour out your heart to me, knowing that I am listening and I care. All right? So, with that sentence right there, everybody take a deep breath. Hold it for a second. And as you're exhaling, when your world looks dark and threatening, pour out your heart to me and know that I'm listening and I care. Okay? Find comfort in my sovereignty. I'm in control even when global events look terribly out of control. Actually, many things are not as they should be, not as they were created to be. So you do well to yearn for perfect goodness, and someday those longings will be wondrously satisfied. Okay? Now, when your world looks dark and threatening, I am in control even when global events look terribly out of control. Okay? Now that this is all part of the script. This is all, you're in a movie type. You're a real life character in a movie. Want to know what the script is? Go read the Bible, the scriptures. Okay, so I know right now exactly how you guys are feeling. This world looks dark. So when it looks dark and threatening, come to me and pour out your heart. Know that I listen, know that I care, and then find comfort in my sovereignty. Okay, that's where you find true comfort. See that crown right there? That means sovereignty. Okay, over everything. So remember, I'm in control. Even though the global events look out of control, it's all part of the play. Go read, you'll see. Okay. So I got a different thing here. I want you to consider the prophet Habakkuk as he awaited the Babylonian invasion of Judah. He knew the attack would be brutal, and he wrestled deeply with this prophetic knowledge. He knew the attack would be brutal, just like we know. We are enduring the brutal attack right now. We know because we're in it. We're enduring the brutal attack. Just like Habakkuk, he knew the attack would be brutal. And just like you guys, he wrestled deeply with this prophetic knowledge. Okay, this prophetic knowledge is not easy to deal with. It's scary. You wrestle with it just like he did. He knew the attack would be brutal, and he wrestled deeply with this prophetic knowledge. So you're just like him. Okay? Just like the prophet Habakkuk. You're a prophet. When you speak the words of the Bible, that is being a prophet. Okay? Yeah. He just waited. He knew the Babylonian invasion was coming. He knew the attack would be brutal. He knew he was going to die. He wrestled deeply with this prophetic knowledge, and finally he wrote a hymn of absolute confidence in me. After describing utterly desperate circumstances, kind of like you guys, utterly desperate circumstances, he concluded, yet I will rejoice in the Lord, and I will be joyful in God my Savior. So, if he can do it, you can too. All right. Even though the world looks dark, try to sing a hymn of confidence in me. And utterly desperate circumstances, you can rejoice in the Lord and be joyful. Okay, so very important right now when this world looks so dark. It's part of the movie. Just like a Hollywood movie, towards the end is the destruction scene where the plane flies in between the falling buildings and the oohs and the ahs and the streets ripple and buckle and houses fly and limousines fly into the air, right? That's the action part of the movie, right? That's why everybody goes to that movie, is to see those scenes, right? And isn't that what you guys wanted? Oops. So when you're in utter desperate circumstances, try to conclude like he did and rejoice in the Lord. Feel free to wrestle with me about your concerns. Aha. Feel free to wrestle with me about your concerns. Okay? That's who you're supposed to be wrestling with, is with me. So, feel free to wrestle with me about your concerns. Remember that the goal is to come to a place of confident trust and transcendent joy. So we have a goal here. We are shooting for absolute confidence. Our goal is to come to a place of absolute confidence and trust, which causes that transcendent joy. It causes the transcendent joy. So remember, the goal now is to come to a place of confident trust and transcendent joy. That transcendent joy comes from the confident trust, so they go hand in hand. So your goal is confident trust and transcendent joy. You will get that transcendent joy by how much trust you place. Is it confident trust? Is it kind of wishy-washy trust? Or are you really giving it your full trust? Because when you do, you find the transcendent joy. Okay? It's not just a little tiny bit of trust. You're going to very little joy. And you need to feel free to wrestle with me about your concerns. I want you to pour out your heart to me. Okay? Your emotions. Sometimes people pray so monotone. Lord, forgive me, I sinned. This is happening. What? You don't sound sincere. It says, please, Lord, save me. I'm hanging by the thread of my life. I can't take it anymore. Oh, well, I hear you loud and clear. I hear that person loud and clear. See what I'm saying? You need to pour out your heart. It's for you. It's for your mental stability, okay? And you need to feel freed up, okay? You're holding back. You're not feeling free to wrestle with me. You're holding back all the important stuff, okay? And you need to pour out your heart to me and feel free to wrestle with me about your concerns. I wrestle fairly, okay? Now, remember, our goal is to come to the place of confident trust and transcendent joy. Now, a lot of you won't understand my mysterious ways, but you can find hope and help in my presence. Like right now at this show. I am your strength. So right now, you guys are coming to a place of confident trust They're finding transcendent joy proportional to the amount of trust placed. And even though it's mysterious, you can still find hope and help in my presence. Okay, in my presence. I am here now. I am your strength. Okay, remember we got a goal. Our primary goal is confident trust and transcendent joy. So if your primary goal is pleasing yourself, your life will be filled with frustration. Okay, I had a very frustrating day because things weren't going my way again. Gosh darn it, I gotta have my way sometimes, and it just doesn't go my way, and I get frustrated because I'm trying to please myself. I catch myself doing this, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing it again. Lord, please help me. How embarrassing. I know better, and here I am doing it. So I catch myself, Lord, please help me. So if your primary goal is pleasing yourself, yeah, your life is going to be filled with frustration. It surely will be. So the attitude that things should go your way is based on a faulty premise that you are the center of your world. The truth is, I am the center and everything revolves around me. So make your plans tentatively, seeking my face and my will in all that you do. So when you're making your plans, make them tentatively because they'll change sometimes. My plans change too. It happens. Okay. The attitude that things should go your way is a faulty premise. Okay. And if that's the way you're stuck thinking, you're just going to be filled with frustrations. And I catch myself doing it all the time, and I got to stop. Okay. That's hot off the street, you guys. I'm telling you stuff that I went through today. This is hot off the street, okay? So where were we here? You make your plans tentatively. When you're making your plans, seek my face and my will in all that you do. And this is a win-win situation. Because if things go according to your plans, well, rejoice and thank me. And when your desires are thwarted, well, communicate with me and be ready to subordinate your will to mine. Oh, dang it. There it is. Subordinate your will to mine. God, it's so hard sometimes. Yep. But this is a win-win situation. You win if things go according to your plans, and you win when your desires are thwarted. You win when they're thwarted if you communicate with me, and then cave to my will. Remember that you do belong to me. You're my beloved. You are not your own. Therein lies the solution to your problem. If your primary goal is pleasing yourself, well, you are not your own. Okay, and if things go according to your plan, you're not your own. When your desires are thwarted, you're not your own. You belong to me. All right, and you're in this test called life. All right. This awareness that you belong to another can be a great relief. Do you understand how? The awareness that you belong to me can be a great relief. It shifts your focus away from yourself and what you want. So instead of striving to make things go your way, your primary goal becomes pleasing me. Ah, dang. So we're all striving to make things go our way, aren't we? That's the way this world works. You have to strive to make things go your way. And we all just, instead of striving to make things go your way, your primary goal becomes pleasing me. Okay? So when stuff's coming at you, remember you're not your own. Okay? Your primary goal slowly becomes pleasing me, and you might think this would be burdensome, but it's actually quite freeing. Okay? My yoke is easy and my burden is light. So knowing that you belong to me provides deep, satisfying rest for your soul. Doesn't it? Yes, indeed it does. Knowing now, more than believing, knowing that you belong to me provides deep, satisfying rest for your soul. This one too, Lord, really? Too? Okay, I guess so. So, the richest treasure I offered you is the light of the gospel. And this is what makes the gospel such amazingly good news. It opens the way to my glory. When you trusted me as your Savior, I set your feet on a pathway to heaven. Forgiveness of sins and a future in heaven are wondrous blessings, but I have even more for you. I have made my light shine in your heart. Oops, let's go here. With the heart. Okay. I have made my light shine in your heart now to give you the light of knowledge, the knowledge of the glory of my face. Okay, so now you see my face. You see the glory of my face. You have the knowledge now of my presence, of the glory of my face. Okay. I should put up that one where it's by the moon, but I'm not doing that right now. I have made my light shine in your heart to give you the light of the knowledge of the glory of my face, the glory of my presence. I want you to seek my face wholeheartedly so you can enjoy my presence, so you can enjoy the radiant knowledge of my glorious presence too. Knowledge is a very rich word. Now, some of its meanings are awareness acquired by experience. Okay, knowledge. Awareness acquired by experience. What makes an expert? Experience. You just can't be a self-proclaimed expert if you haven't experienced anything. Knowledge comes from experience. Awareness acquired by experience. So you're aware of more things you learned by experience. Your awareness acquired by experience or study, and the sum of what has been perceived, discovered, or learned. So knowledge is awareness acquired by experience or study, and the sum of what has been perceived, discovered, or learned. So knowing me involves awareness of me, experiencing my presence. It also involves perceiving me, when you can see that I'm here. I turn the camera around, but I'm all unshaven and been sweaty days, so I'm all nasty looking, but that's me right there. This is me as well. Okay, so knowledge, awareness acquired by experience, perceived, discovered, or learned. Experiencing my presence also involves perceiving me, because money, the god of this age, has blinded the minds of unbelievers. But you can know me through perceiving the light of my glory. Hopefully you can see it there. Yeah. That one's a little bit better. There we go. That one right there. So that's it for tonight. A couple things just to touch base again. The most important ones. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers. You can see that all over the place. Your primary goal, okay, circle that one, because now your primary goal becomes pleasing me. You also have the goal to come to a place of confident trust, which produces transcendent joy. Okay, so your goal is to find trust, find joy. Your goal is to find me, pleasing me, by living and practicing these disciplines. When you got too much of the news and your world's looking dark and threatening, come to me. Remember that you belong to me. Okay, that'll relieve a lot of your mind and your heart. The other one I had circled. Again, be brave, be strong. Like Habakkuk, he knew the attack would be brutal, and he wrestled deeply with this prophetic knowledge. I know you guys are wrestling deeply with this prophetic knowledge, so feel free to wrestle with me. Okay, you can wrestle with me about your concerns. I want you to come to that place of confident trust and transcendent hope and transcendent joy. Okay. Remember, your primary goal is not pleasing yourself. Do not try to make that your primary goal of pleasing yourself, because you'll be frustrated. Remember, you're not your own. All right. Knowing that you belong to me provides deep, satisfying rest for your soul. Sweet dreams, good night. I give you a kiss on the cheek. I'll see you in the morning. I love you all, and until my next stream, bye. I will be back. I'm already back. You belong to me. Rest. Be at peace. You belong to me. You're okay. I love you. I'll be back.